Hi, writers. It's good to see you again. We are concluding our lesson on complex sentences today with our editing conversation. We're going to go back to that sentence from The Naked Mole Rat Gets Dressed by Mo Willems and review what we have learned from our author this week. So the sentence is, when he returned, Wilbur discovered he was not alone. So what have we learned from Mo Willems in this sentence? What are some things that you have learned, and what have we talked about this week? So you may have said that we begin a sentence with a capital letter, we end with a period, we capitalize names as in Wilbur, but we don't use any other capital letters in our sentence because that can confuse our reader. You may have talked about how the sentence is in past tense and that we keep our tense consistent, and that we start our sentence, in this case, with an opener, when he returned, comma, Wilbur discovered he was not alone, and that opener begins with an woobus word, when. So we have a complex sentence here. Now, remember, whenever we make changes to our writing or we make choices in our writing, we have to think about the effect that it has on the reader at all times. And so I'm going to take this sentence, going to make a change in it, ask you what's changed, and then we'll talk about the effect that it has on the reader. Okay, so here is the first change. Take a look at it. Okay, what has changed? That's right. When he returned, the opener has been moved to the end of the sentence. When he returned is still there. Wilbur discovered he was not alone when he returned. When we move that subordinate clause to the end of the sentence, we don't necessarily need that comma anymore, right? And so, again, it's up to the writer to choose where you want to put that awubis to make the most sense for the reader. And so, what effect does it have on the reader this time? Well, when the reader's reading it, we're not going to pause, and we don't really have anything to set us up to move us into the sentence. And so this isn't written wrong. It's not incorrect. It's just it has a different effect on how it's read. What about this one? What has changed? That's right. The comma's been changed to a period. So let's check that. When he returned. Is that a sentence? No, we're kind of left hanging, right? Because we start the word with when, we start it with an awubis. So we're probably going to need a comma, because otherwise we're left hanging. And as a reader, I'm going, when he returned, what? What happened? Like, I want to keep going, but the period's there, so that means that idea is over. And as a reader, I'm really confused because I don't know what's next. So we need to make sure that we're thinking when we're putting our periods in. It's important to use those periods. We want to use those periods, but we also want to make choices about what we want our reader to do with those periods, because anytime we use a period, that means that thought is done. It's over. It's stopped. It's complete. And so we want to think, do we want our reader to be complete here, or do we need to keep going for it to make sense? And finally, we have this one. What has changed? Yeah. Discovered changed to discovering. Does that make sense? When he returned, Wilbur discovering he was not alone. That doesn't really agree, does it? We're missing something there. So as a reader, I'm pretty confused. So as a writer, we need to make choices about the verbs that we use, and that they have to agree and match our subjects, so the reader doesn't stop and go, huh? I'm confused. So I hope you've enjoyed this lesson on complex sentences. Go out and use more awubis words anytime you write to help you vary your sentence structures and your sentence lengths, and just to keep your reader engaged in your writing. Have fun with your writing. We'll see you next time. Stay safe, drink lots of water, and wash those hands.